It is done.
What was your total, Val?
Oh shit, I need to run.
Total's 27.
Damn.
So,
Do you want me to confirm, Mark?
Yeah.
Select.
That's fucking ridiculous. That's 2 nat 20s.
Confirm.
It's your turn this time.
Um, 25.
All right, so statistically, that counts as a 45.
Holy shit!
Colors.
I can see things
Actually,
that no one
Val,
else can see
you're going last.
Thank fuck, because I need to eat.
That may have altered the course of your character arc.
Really?
Oh, fuck you.
All right, so who's next up? That'd be Lex. The first thing you hear, Saffron, after the echoes stop, is the dripping. The dripping that becomes pouring. And then the clatter as the vivisected puppets fall from the ceiling behind you. They crumple into heaps, gasping their last, dead and free. The smell of iron and blood fills your lungs, coats the back of your throat. Around you in this place are mechanisms unspeakable. Part orchestra, part surgeon's theater. This place is purpose-built.
Did the stray run away?
I'm going to say that he stays with you, but that if you go and investigate, he will give you time to breathe. The place itself, this place is not filled with the symbols of the Alloyed Church. Where there would be symbols like the locus, the 4-point star, that signals the primacy of order and material. There are instead hurled shards of iron, hewn into shapes that seem at once haphazard and meticulous. Script that was made not by delicate and intelligent hands, scribing for the first time their innermost thoughts and desires, but script that was born of breaking rock and bone. Script that was made before the words it represented. This is a place near to hell. Carpathian has found the way back up. You can leave this place if you wish.
Is that him talking to me?
No. That is, I am saying that to you. Just like there is nothing keeping you here.
She'll turn to the others. I'm going home. There'll be, clever men outside. We should leave.
I agree.
Yeah.
Best.
All right. Sir Hilary,
Yeah.
you found where the prisoners were held. Not held so securely anymore with the demise, or at least the ceasing of the attendants. Freeing them was easy enough. They are thankful and quick to be rid of this place.
As we are.
This place is not... It has a strange familiarity to it, and also a disturbing foreignness. You have been to lairs of sacrifice before. You have seen the ceremonies that these men call savage. All of them were done with explicit, fixed purpose. There was no culture you found that sacrificed for its own sake, that spilled blood for the sake of blood. No so-called savage tribe, uncontacted mass, no vicious or barbarous horde cut open their fellow man for the sake of seeing red. Here, in the center of glorious civilization, this man did it to make his music. You leave this place behind you?
Can I discern what the conductor hoped to gain by such horrid practices?
Alright, make for me a roll of your choice.
Of my choice, huh?
Mhm.
And that is of what?
Now, which role you choose will change what you may find. For instance, lore may give you lore information. Acrobatics may lead you stumbling down some forgotten path.
Okay, I'm going to choose something a little. I'm going to choose nature.
Okay, yeah.
Trying to discern how unnatural this thing.
Yeah, but I like this from Hillary's perspective. This is really good.
All right, and we'll see if the rolling is working on this table, and thus far it is not. So, oh wait, I got a 14.
All right. Unnatural is exactly the right term. This is as far from the This is about as far from the natural world as it gets. This is mechanical and infernal. This is not like the Eldritch, which is simply outside of the natural laws, something entirely other. This is counter to the natural laws, specifically set against them. This is a man who looks upon the world as it is and sees not beauty. He sees only that which he did not yet control. This is a man who was likely as wretched in his very soul as his worst practices that he ever delivered to the world. He imagined imperfection anywhere that he did not wield power. He wanted to control the very voices, the very mechanisms of song of those that he entrapped and ensnared in his choir. For him, every mechanism was a link in the chain of his power. And the world is better off without any of his influence whatsoever. The less of him that ripples out from this point in time, the better the future world will be.
Is there any sign of who his compatriots, disciples were?
It seems that he would likely not suffer many true disciples. There is a reason that those that quote-unquote followed him were automatons. Why he had to control absolutely everything. Which means that it is likely that if he has followers, they were kept at an arm's length. But they should certainly not be allowed any sort of access to his work. Fortunately, it is very likely that the Clippermen would agree.
Yeah.
This is all of this profane and heresy. His connection, no connection to the church could save someone from... like his reputation, he will be a monster.
Sure. The interior of the room we're looking at has had decades, if not centuries, of work done on it, though. This was not done in the lifetime of one man.
That is a most peculiar thing indeed. Make a religion roll.
Religion. $17.
All right. This is not what the basement of the old cathedral would have been. You are very accurate about that. This is... and there's no way he built this. Even in his life, there's no way. Even with automatons, there's no way. And this place itself, the stone itself is older. This is not... as you look out, you see the one great stained glass window at the end of the hall, and trickling through it, just like water seeping through the cracks of a rusted basin, there is crimson light. Congratulations, you have now realized that you are on the Veil.
I am on the Veil of what?
This place exists at the border between the material realm and a place known as the Pit.
Oh. Inferno.
It is likely that there is... at the very least, you hope there is no true portal here. But this place is where the veil is thin. He was doing foul magics here. Looking through that stained glass window, you see... like, you cannot see through it. It is too muddled, too shaded, too distorted.
What about with other sight?
You can turn that on if you want.
Um,
How can I put this? I really don't want to, but I feel like I need to know what the heck is going on here.
Yeah.
I'm not like making a check or anything, but I just say that I would have had active. Because I activated it before I came in here.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Do I see anything?
So the main thing is that inside this place, it is the material. This is all material. It's strange. You don't know how it got here. It seemed to have sprung up here far too quickly for what it looks like it's made of. But everything in this contained within this basement, this cyst that has descended downwards in the world, everything in here is material.
But the space itself is not.
Casting your sight out that stained glass window is a dangerous thing to do, as there are things moving.
That's what I suspected.
Other sight lets you see around corners, lets you see throughout angles, lets you see if there is a single path that translates from you to there, you can see around to get to it, right? The stained glass window is sealed tight. It's every lead etching a rune, and what is on the other side is not permitted here.
Okay.
Is there any... How did he learn the knowledge to create such an atrocity? Is there tomes and books and libraries that need to be burned?
Perhaps. They are not kept here, but one could investigate.
Maybe they all got burned down already.
I don't think so.
by the girls when they went and burned his house down. Who knows?
Oh, okay. That's possible.
They didn't check his basement.
Oh, shit. You see, there he goes again. There he goes again.
No. Honestly, there was probably some sketchy shit in... There was definitely sketchy shit in there, so it's all good.
Hillary, you watch as you see the faint outline of something crawling along the stained glass window before alighting again back into the air.
Okay. It just convinces me we've got to track down whatever sources of magic this guy had and destroy it. This cannot be allowed to perpetuate further foul magics as we have seen on...
Alright. You can make another perception, intuition, you can basically, like, if you want to go and look together or spread out and look for clues, yada yada.
I don't want to leave until I've found that there's no further magical items, tomes, books, things that have to be destroyed.
Something that someone else could stumble upon and take, and...
Yes, exactly.
Alright, well, in the room where you are, the biggest thing is the organ itself. It is a huge pipe organ that takes up the back wall of the chamber at the end of the hallway, below which sits the corpse that Emira turned into Swiss cheese.
Right. And we know it was sonic magic, too.
Yes. It is largely like inactive. There's still bits of ticking, there's still drops of blood, but nothing in it breathes, nothing in it sings.
Investigate the tubular elements that perform the musical...
Yeah, the organ pipes themselves.
Organ pipes.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if I see any infernal or arcane, probably infernal writings on them, specifically.
Okay.
Can I look too?
Yeah. Mechanics roll to, like, disassemble.
Okay. Whoever gets highest. I got a 17. You may get higher.
I got a 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Both of you can begin to disassemble this thing. Your disassembly is somewhat rudimentary because, I mean, it's not like you're trying to preserve the function of this thing.
Right.
Although don't worry, I'm taking into account, Sir Hilary, that you are careful not to if you come across runes, you're not like licking them. I get it. I get that you're doing this carefully.
I remove the cancer from this organ.
So, ho.
Very nice.
You
Nicely
did a
done.
thing. As you are pulling apart these pipe, and don't worry, I chose pipe. Like you're absolutely getting it. I chose pipe organ for like this reason. The pipes themselves, like at the base of them, as you pull them, like there's flesh hanging out of them. The pipes themselves have human like throats, larynxes, and vocal cords in their base.
Oh crap. Okay. It's is there infernal writings, or is the entire thing infected with this?
It seems like this. It seems infected is the right word. Like there is, in addition to gears, springs, valves, and pistons, there are veins and sinew coursing throughout this thing. It is biomechanical in the most true sense.
Okay. Do we still have any Clippermen, or is any of the private security still around?
No, you guys are down here alone.
I don't think anyone upstairs is aware of necessarily of what's going on down here at the moment. Apart from Marcus, maybe? The head of the Iron Teeth?
Yeah, don't worry. They know bad shit's here.
Okay.
They don't know the extent of it, but Sir Hilary, you do not expect that anything that's here will survive if the Clippermen get their hands on it.
I need to make sure it doesn't survive.
Yeah.
I want to personally inspect the destruction. It needs to be destroyed in explosion and fire.
Mm-hmm.
Cleansing fire. Fire blessed by anti-infernal magic of some type.
Yeah. The only pieces of writing that you can see that are infernal, that have Golgoth, is the single piece of sheet music atop the organ itself.
And I know nothing about infernal magic.
In fact, and this is specialized infernal magic at this. You know how we have like specialized musical notation? This is musical notation from the pit. This is Golgoth's musical notation.
Damn.
Okay. Do you speak Golgoth, Ian?
I was in the process of learning.
Ambrose does.
Ambrose does, yeah.
I will go ahead and inform you that this is essentially part of a spell that lets him control all of this.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
Yep, that makes
We still don't know where he got this knowledge, but this particular magical item needs to be destroyed. And,
let's blow it to shit then.
Blow it to shit, yes.
Yeah. With what?
That's a good question, and I do not pretend to know what the best way to handle this is. I'm suspecting that, I hate to say it, but the Alloy Church may be the best source. But
Wrong.
I'm not sure I want to give this to them.
Saf will kind of step forward. I feel like she would have waited for them.
Yeah.
My father's company's in weaponry. I'm sure
Okay,
we can get some explosives.
We get some explosions, okay. We probably want to move this into a vacant yard or lot someplace where it can be blown to nothingness. And we need to have someone be casting some type of spells over it to make sure that it does not arise again.
Intuition, everyone.
Intuition.
Except Cece.
What if we just blew everything up?
18.
22.
21. I rolled a lot of 21s.
How about that? Wow. We all rolled
Are we
high.
putting it in rolls?
No, this is
Nice,
just
okay.
if you guys were noticing who was missing.
Oh,
Ah.
it's easy.
Celestine,
Yeah. I'm scared. What's up?
Me too.
just a little further, it says. Make a resolve roll.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't like the sound of that.
Roll high, roll high.
What's an 8?
Ugh.
You keep walking down the hallways as it instructs. You feel its rhythmic, pulsing instruction moving your legs almost for you. You saw me when others didn't. You clutch the thing in your hand, still warm, still dripping. And you have a heart that desires. You have felt the pain of lack. You descend the stairs one more time.
Mm-mm.
You reach a reliquary.
Reliquary? Where is she?
I don't remember what a reliquary is.
It is
My
essentially
brain's
like
still
a catacomb that holds like holy bones and stuff, like relics.
Okay.
Except, as you step down the final set of stairs, this entire reliquary is upside down. You are walking on its ceiling.
Oh crap.
The holy bones hang upside down in the air above you. There is a glint in the dark before you. I can make no transaction that is not freely given. But I wanted to speak before I was swept away.
Or blowed up.
Tell me what you want.
I want for this all to end.
Hmm.
For those I care about to be safe.
Safe. Safe is a covetous thing indeed. A diamond in a vault is safe. A man in a prison is safe. I can grant you chains to make them safe.
I would not ask for chains.
Then what do you want?
do not ask for chains for those I love.
Mm.
I simply seek the means. Get rid of those who don't. To get rid of those who threaten that safety.
A constant refrain. A mortal song. Everlasting. End mine enemies. Let them fall. Melodious.
What do you want? I am not naive. I am not a child.
No.
This does not come for free.
An exchange need not be a price.
And yet it so commonly is.
Then I will let the gift persist.
What gift?
You see the shade with the single glint move ever so slightly, and you feel the thing in your hand start to tick once more. Take it, then. It is both power and price. Wield it however you will. Your enemies will cease. And that you love will be safe.
She'll look down on it. In the mind spring. At first holding it in her mechanical arm. Running it kind of over her fingers. And then shifts the grip so that she's holding it with both hands. She's quiet, thinking. Puts it back in her, puts it back in between her mechanical fingers. And then places it in the palm of her normal hand. Closes her fist around it. and just silently nods. Tucks it away. And then heads back upstairs.
As you turn to leave, none of this place you have bargained for. None of this price you have paid. I will let it fade. But keep well, and remember that above is not so different from that below. There is a shuddering in the very foundation. And as there is, the dust in the room shifts. The candles hanging upside down, their flames flickering, shift direction back and forth, and flare for a moment, and you see a figure seated at the far end of the room. The pinpoint of light flaring to a halo for a moment. Before darkness begins to flow back into the spaces. Every step you take out of the reliquary, it seals behind you. Any mote of dark that claims a space when light returns to it is naught but stone. You continue upstairs.
Yeah.
Theo.
Yeah.
As you're about to say, "Where's Cece?" she emerges from a side passage. Hillary. The sheet music in your hand bursts into red flame.
I drop it to the floor and stamp and watch it burn.
The wood around the edges of the pipe organ themselves start to crack and char, heat rising up from within them, burning crimson, until they finally hiss and alight in several places. The organ itself begins to bleed, sputter, hiss, and boil.
Stepping back.
We should leave.
Crack splits along one of the columns.
Like, now.
Yes, I think that
Okay.
would be a good idea.
Listen to the lady who knows, yeah.
As you guys begin moving from the back of this room, you know how this is like a big vaulted room, like a big vaulted ceiling?
Yeah.
Yes.
By the time you guys get to the front of it, it's like a single story tall.
It's like coming down.
Yeah, and it's not like collapsing, like being collapsed, like as though it were made to fold into itself spatially. The stained glass window above begins to crack in several places, and there is suddenly a flurry of motion, like piranhas to flesh. There is something on the outside clawing and baying to get in. As you guys head into the stairwell, though, and the door slams behind you, you hear a crash of glass, a crunch, and the force of the impact knocks the door open, where you see a storage hall with old translation books just the basement of an old cathedral, as it was.
Are there any writings, symbols, anything like that that show what was once here?
On the other side of the door, there is a single infernal rune. And that is all that remains.
Okay. I know nothing about infernal runes. I have no idea what it represents.
You can, however, copy it down and just have it.
I will take notes about it. I don't want to make an exact copy.
You don't want to make it exact. Yeah. Copy it in 2 parts.
Yeah.
One of
Do we
those things.
still have a camera from
I think I
the
do.
auction and take a picture of it? Or is that not
I'm
wise?
a little worried about taking a picture of it.
You can.
Maybe take a picture of a part of it, then a second picture of the other part of it.
Make a religion roll, Hillary.
Religion roll. $13.
All right. Yeah. You see, you're debating whether or not to take a picture of it. You see Sir Hillary just look at it and turn and look at some of the dusty, covered pieces of furniture in the room, and he just walks over and grabs a thin piece of furniture and reveals a mirror. Looking at it in the mirror, it is flipped backwards. And so when you take a picture of it, you are not taking a picture of it. You are taking a picture of its reverse, thereby negating any of its magic.
Very good.
Very good. Okay.
She's quieter than usual, so she's gonna hand the camera over to Theo.
Yeah, I'll take the snap, but I'm kind of doing it a bit absent-mindedly. And when it's appropriate, I'd like to insight or intuition check her because she's being quiet and it's worrying, and he's worried.
As soon as you take the picture, I'm going to do lesser shatter on the door, and just break it so that the symbol just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't have to, you could just take 10 on it. You could just shatter.
Slay.
And just spend the chance for it.
Yep.
As you do, the shatter, which is normally just very much just very brittle, breaking an object, here it's as though it were seared from the inside, and the wood collapses and burns in red fire until it's just ash.
I rolled a 19 intuition.
Okay. Deception?
Deception or persuasion?
Your choice.
I don't think my little 19's going to be enough.
Nope, because I rolled an 18 on the dice.
Little 19.
What'd you roll, deception or persuasion?
Can I just text you, Mark?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah, no fun. Regardless, he would put a hand on her shoulder. You alright? I mean, I know that's a wild question right now, considering everything that's going on. You seem quiet.
Just thinking. It's a lot.
I know. And he'll run his hand down her shoulder to her hand and give it a squeeze and hold it there.
She'll squeeze back and just kind of lean her head on his shoulder.
And he'll clear his throat. Fuck this
Ymira.
place.
Fuck this place. Saffron.
Very rarely. But this is the occasion.
Yeah. You doing okay, Lex?
Mhm.
Okay. Saffron, you like just open the door up and a way out. Like you're okay. You're back here. The people are here. They're safe. You guys did good. You're solid. You made it. And Ambrose is here. I didn't just secretly have him left behind. You're all good.
She's...
mhm.
I don't know. I think she's just silent and
Yeah.
like, shaky.
Then, as you all head on ahead, Theo, you're the last one out.
Mm-hmm.
Cece just saw a bunch of people being harvested for mind springs and then used as, like, meat puppets. Her being quiet is completely and totally expected. That's
Yeah.
totally fair. Totally
Mhm.
understandable. You close your hands and you're, like, into a fist thinking. And when you pull your hand, like, when you finally open that fist, it feels a little bit tacky. And you look down and you see just a couple of fingerprints of blood on your hand.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'll make a mental note. Maybe ask her about it later, but maybe not. We'll see.
At last, all of you sort of slowly stumble out. Pushing open the front doors, you see a crowd of people all around at the bottom of the steps of this place. And they begin to cheer. The hounds of House Owl!
Oh shit.
Panic attack activated.
Our
Too many people.
rescuers! Alric leads them in a cheer of hip hip hooray.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
But also,
Yikes.
Yeah.
Theo's definitely doing that awkward British man pose, like the.
And as you guys are like taking in what happens, there is a flash. And we cut to tomorrow's paper.
Oh God!
No.
Oh no!
Where you are all standing at the top of the steps.
Oh man. Would it be okay to take a quick break?
Yes, now is the perfect time for a break.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him out.
Alright, back at the
Are we
45.
famous?
God,
You guys are a little
no.
famous now.
Oh. Oh boy.
You rescued all those people.
I know he did. Oh boy. Okay.
Hey, Lex. One of the articles in the paper is an interview with Eamon Reynard.
Death to him.
He's